Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. Today is December 2nd. What? I can't even believe it. I want to give a very, very special welcome to anyone who is joining us for the first time. You are on TNT. This is the nation's longest running free coaching program for notaries. We've been around for a little over 8 years. And I also want to give a very special hello to anyone watching us on replay in YouTube. Thank you for spending time with us on YouTube. Let me explain how this call works. Um, you are stepping into TNT, which is in football terms, since it's football season. It's like a play-by-play of the notary business. We are here live every single week to help you break down the plays, celebrate the wins, and coach you on the strategies that keep you and your business moving forward. Now, questions that you put in the chat for us may or may not be answered. Priority is always given to raised hands, and you can find your raised hand feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. It's a little outline of a hand. And then you can look into the chat to find any links that we might talk about throughout the call, or see any of our rules or etiquette or anything like that for the call. And you also want to check that chat for any upcoming events or announcements that you do not want to miss. We do our best to keep you informed about the events happening across the country. I am Jen Neitzel. I'm the creator of Marketing for Notaries, and I am joined by the best co-host there is, the one and only Laura Biewer. Hey, Laura, how are you today?
Or actually, good afternoon for everyone. Super fine day.
I'm
Beautiful. Actually, not even a fall day. It's it's almost looking like a winter day.
Here too. We're all freezing down here. Of course, it drops below 50 and all of us Texans start freaking out. So we're not used to any kind of cold. But we are also normally joined by Matt Miller with the California League of Independent Notaries. He had an appointment this afternoon, so he will not be with us today. So that means you guys know you're going to have to bear with Laura and I running the whole show. So bear with us today, and thanks in advance, I should say, for bearing with us. I wanted to let everybody know. I always start this call when we go over some announcements. I talk about the book I wrote because I still can't believe I wrote a book. I'm putting this in the chat now. The Kindle version is on sale, you guys, for 99 cents. So let me just say to everybody right now, seriously, if you don't have a marketing plan, if your idea of a marketing plan is winging it, go get this book on Kindle. It's 99 cents. Please go grab it. You need some kind of marketing plan to help you make some income that you can rely on instead of just getting those random jobs. Okay, enough about that. I also want to remind you guys about the NNA conference that's coming up in May of 2026. The National Notary Association has early bird pricing available through January 29th. So if you are interested in going, I highly encourage you to check out the early bird pricing to save some money. I'm going to put that in the chat for you. And while I'm doing that, Laura, will you tell us about the new video series that you have recently released?
Yes, I'm so excited because I've had some great feedback from people who had done the Laura Biewer Presents that I identified specialties. And in this series, I've taken it a step further and talked in a little more depth about the how for each one of them. And some of them I've repeated because there was more to offer. So if you are interested in purposeful practice, in not just the identification of what specialties are, but how to get into, how to get into them, things to be concerned about. Each one is an hour long. There are 33 of them. And if you're on the call today, you're going to use the word coupon, use the word coupon. The
Coached.
coupon word is coached. CoachMeLaura, in case you're listening to a replay and can't see the chat. And it brings it down to $99 or $3 per video.
Yeah, and I've got that in the chat. That link is in the chat for anyone who would like to take advantage of that incredibly generous offer. Oh my goodness. Okay. A couple more announcements. I just
How about
took a
December 8th?
Yeah, so next Monday, Laura, you and I are doing a webinar about estate planning. Now, if you're already a CNTDA on this call, you know exactly the webinar we're talking about. This is where we discuss the wider opportunity of becoming a certified notary trust delivery agent. And it's coming up, the last one of the year is coming up December 8th. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. God, I hate time zones.
I,
Um,
I put it in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead and get registered over at Eventbrite. It's in the chat. Check that out. I also want to remind everybody that you should be getting, and if you guys could throw in the chat for me again, if you got two email reminders today about this call, they looked different. Can you throw a one in the chat for me? I've set up a new system. It's not a new system. I've just learned something new. Okay, so I'm glad you guys are getting two of these. Thank you for letting me know. One of those is going away. So you will only be moving forward getting one email once we get into January. The reason I'm bringing this up is if you are not seeing your 1 hour, we are going live soon call for TNT, you need to check your spam folder, your junk folder, your promotions folder, your social folders. Gmail has so many different folders now that it moves things into, but just to make us not freak out when we open that email, right? But check in those other folders if you don't see it, because sometimes when you set up a new email chain like that, it will deposit it into your spam accounts. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. And if you're a Marketing for Notaries member or you're already a CNTDA member, you can always find the link to this call on the Marketing for Notaries or CNTDA calendar inside the school classroom. You can set up a simple repeater on your phone or on your calendar so you never miss it. Because, guys, this link does not change. We use the same link all the time. And lastly, I just want to share this again in case you missed us last week. Last week was really powerful. You guys just Laura and I were just blown away by that call. And we were so happy that everyone was so supportive of taking a moment to share some gratitude. But I also shared something last week with the crowd that happened the week before. So 2 weeks ago, we asked the audience 2 weeks ago to give a new notary entrepreneur some of your best advice. And I decided because the advice was so darn good, I would go ahead and put that in a Google Doc and share it with everybody. So this is our CNTDA shared document about not CNTDA. What day is it?
TNT.
TNT. This is our TNT shared document of your best advice for a notary entrepreneur. I just thought it was you guys really brought the stuff. And I just felt like I literally just threw the chat box into chat GPT and said organize this and make it make sense, and what came out of it was fantastic. So I hope you all get a chance to look at that. It's in the chat. You can open that up and have a look see. Okay, here's how this call works. We're here to answer your questions. We just need you to raise your digital hands. Who wants to get us started today by getting in line and having their questions answered? We got no questions today, Laura.
Got to bring their questions.
How was your
Forgetting to
Thanksgiving?
bring your lunch.
I know. How was your Thanksgiving, Laura?
You know what? It was super fine. After the day, we went out to Monterey, which was like 70 something and sunny skies and beautiful because
Yeah.
that's where my in-laws live. And actually, they live in Carmel Valley, so right next to it. And so we spent some time out there and then turned around and came back. And it was just a nice little relaxing trip.
I think Jay Wade is from Monterey because she was like, "What do you mean? What do you
Busy
mean
over
you
there.
went?"
There's
And you,
still a little traffic going on. But we
I
went
bet.
into Monterey. No, we went into Seaside. What's it? So somewhere between Monterey and Seaside, and
Oh,
Mountain Mike's Pizza, and that was the best freaking pizza I've ever
mm,
had. It was so
yum,
good.
yum. I love Monterey. It's so beautiful. But Daniel has his hand up. Let's get with Mr. Brewer. How are you today,
Hey, you're not
Mr.
gonna.
Author of a new book?
You better
What can I
believe
do
it,
for you?
folks. I think everybody that needs to have the entrepreneur of their dreams and doesn't know what to get them for the holidays. I
Yeah.
think they should have. We each should have a customer service, a copy of the book of customer service for sure.
There you
And
go.
I didn't get in on the 99-cent thing. I would have if I'd have known it was going to be a thing here, but I'm planning to do that the first of the year. So, uh,
Nice.
anyways, but I'm looking forward to that. Hey, so. I've been doing a lot of these signings at the hospitals. I was there probably
Yeah.
at 8 out of 10 of my signings last week were probably facility signings and all at one hospital. But we have to go there and we have to, once we meet the people, we find out what's going on. We've done a lot of the vetting on by phone in advance. Then we have to make a decision. I call it question four. Question four is all about capacity, awake and alert, being able to know what they do. In this case, I was lucky because I had a doctor and a nurse in the room at the time. I don't always, but this time I did. So I was able to back away from having to make that question and that determination myself because it seems that my test is a little bit easier than theirs. But the people that were organizing this, God bless them, they were neighbors of this nice, I would say, I want to say young lady, but she's my age, so I don't know what that makes her. But anyways, I would say she was she was struggling, and they were not talking in terms of days, they were talking in terms of hours. And so this family, God bless them, was trying to get their stuff in order so that they wouldn't have a big family fight when it was over. They had a will going, they had witnesses in the room, and it was all they could do to try to even find me to come up there. And this question mostly for Laura, but for Jen too, and anybody else. So we get there, and the doctor says, "Look, she's not, she's not going to be able to sign anything right now." And do I still need to stick this family with a $60 travel fee? I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm supposed to. I mean, I drove to the hospital, and if I do nothing but park my car at the hospital, that's kind of my policy, and it's in my on my website. And I do explain to them on the call that hey, if we don't end up signing, then there's a travel fee. But man, what do you? I mean,
Yeah,
part
I'd
of me,
love to.
part of me says I got to be human too. And these guys aren't. It's not like they're family or anything. So what's your take on this, Laura, or anybody else?
My take is it's the perfect thing to have a policy that says this is what's going to happen if uh, there's no notarization, you'll still pay a trip fee. That is appropriate. Now, the human part comes, that's case by case. Sometimes the reason I still charge is because, they didn't follow my instructions and they didn't have the ID there, or whatever it is. Then I go ahead and charge them for my inconvenience. However, when it's that kind of situation, and I've been there when it's hours and it's just not going to happen because I said it wasn't going to happen, it just wasn't going to happen. I do not charge the trip fee. Now, I will tell you what has happened is they said, but you came here, can we at least give you $20 for gas? You know what? That's very thoughtful of you. But I'm not
Mhm.
charging the trip fee. I,
Yeah.
I write it off because we're human, because it's an emotional situation. And the last thing that family needs to deal with is writing me a check or pulling out their credit card. So I have the policy. The policy doesn't say except when they're dying. The policy is just there. But when it comes up, I always am the person because that's why we work for ourselves. I don't have to call the boss to say, well, I'll have to check to see if I don't have to charge you this time. I get to make that decision. And that's what I love about having my own business.
Well,
Yeah.
and the idea is too, this family was they're very grateful that I came up at all. And I gave them cards, and the fact that I didn't ask for a fee, I really have a feeling that this is going to come back to me in
Absolutely.
in the form of other business. So I feel like
Referral business.
when they said, "Hey, do I owe you anything for this?" My thought was to say, "Well, why don't I split the difference with you?" uh we didn't I know you guys are just trying to help your neighbor out and everything, and her house burned down, and it was, I mean, it was a story out of a country western song. But but I might have said, well, I split the difference with you, we'll go 30, but I didn't. But they were, I mean, they were very, very grateful, and they called me the next day to say that this probably wasn't going to happen at all, but they were very glad that I came up, and I wish them, all the best in their situation if there's anything else I can do. And that's pretty much where we left it. But um, I I I feel like my judgment has to come in,
Your heart.
and my humane. If I stop being a human, then I don't know if this is a job I want to keep doing in the way I do it. I do a lot of these signings in these places, and uh, I I've got no shyness about charging them where it's appropriate. But good, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and great, thank you very much.
Yeah, Daniel, I think I just wanted to add to it a little bit about what Laura was saying, in that we have the opportunity as business owners to make these kinds of decisions. And anybody that has been in a hospital room in that situation with the family member knows how highly stressful it is. And sometimes the right thing to do is exactly what you did, is just shake hands and walk away and say, don't worry about it. And I go with my gut on those things. If it doesn't feel right in my gut, if I feel like then I just don't do it. And I throw it up to good karma and say, score one for me, universe, right? I mean, it's just sometimes not appropriate to bring up $60 or $50 or whatever it is when someone's laying there dying. So I think you absolutely did the right thing.
And it might have been, if it was family that was there, I might have had a different take. But these were, I mean, these were people that didn't even have to get involved.
Yeah.
They were just trying to help out their neighbor because nobody else was there to do it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I feel like, you know what, and these guys were, they were great. So I feel like, you know what, it's good to know you. I'm happy that I meet people like you. I mean, you're the kind of people I want to meet in this business. So uh, okay, good enough. Well, I do thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Daniel. And I bet you're right. I bet they will be so impressed at how you handled the situation that when the need arises for a notary in the future, they know who to call now, right? So that's good customer service. And he literally wrote the book on it, the book of customer service. I need to write a book about segues. You guys can get your copy on Amazon. Daniel, if you want to put the link in the chat, and share that with everybody, that would be perfectly fine. Let's get to our next question from Roberta. Hey, Bert,
Hi,
how are
um,
you?
I'm good, thank you. Let's see.
She's got a
This
list.
has this is no list today. I do want to thank you, Laura, for having Nick there the other week on the on your Monday show.
Yeah.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, the other, this has to do with signing documents that have trustee in them. It's not a trust document. These are real estate documents.
Sure.
So, and even some are trust documents. Do you know why some are not signed with a title on these documents? What the purpose is, or what it pertains to? How does it affect
Well, it does make a difference in some cases that they're signing in capacity because that's either how the document has been set up, and in order for it to uh, be executed properly, they need to sign in the capacity that they're signing in. In other cases, that's not necessary. When is it necessary and when is it not? Not for me to know. I can't even tell you because I
Mhm.
don't know. And so when that comes up, I'm calling title or the hiring party to clarify. I see trustee after their name. Do I need to have that included, or are you guys good with them signing their name only? And that's for trustee stuff. When I see attorney in fact or power of attorney, it needs to be signed. I mean, it has to be in the capacity. So that I know for sure. But when it comes to trustee, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So has to do with the lender and title.
Okay.
You're in that business, Jen. Do you know?
I
I don't
um,
know.
it's
If that
exactly
makes
what you
sense.
so 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you to sign exactly the way it is written, even if it's attorney in fact, power of attorney, however they want it written, or comma trustee maybe. They're going to tell you that that's the signature,
Right.
Jen Neitzel, comma trustee. And that's how people need to sign. And it ticks people off because they're like, but that's not my signature. And
Mhm.
it's like, they're looking for matchy matchy, at this point. So that if it's litigated down the road, there's no issue. But anytime I had a question about this with loans, Bert, any single time I picked up the phone, I looked through the instructions first. And if it wasn't clear, I picked up the phone and asked the title company what the lender wanted. What
Hmm.
does the
Okay.
lender want? Because sometimes we don't get all the instructions, or sometimes maybe they put it in an email, they ask the question separately, or they just forgot to tell you. So go to your contact and ask them. Just ask, you're verifying. I'm
Mhm.
verifying the signature because this deed is in trust, and I need to verify how you want this sign. So there are no issues. And they will appreciate the fact that you took 5 minutes to reach out. They're not going to like count it as a ding against you or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes they're not on a power document like a deed or something like that.
Mhm.
It's just in there, you know.
Yeah.
And if it is signed as trustee, when it in the deed, I wouldn't. I just sign or notarize their name only, and at the bottom portion put they're signing as trustee.
Roberta, and that what Roberta is saying is California, because we're
Right.
not allowed to include uh, representative capacity in our certificate. So our workaround is at the bottom after the certificate is signed and stamped. If you're using an NNA style, and there's other ones on the internet that are like that, there's a place where you can put what capacity they were signing in. And what it's saying is they claim they had it. I'm not saying they had it. That's the difference.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
very good. You're welcome. Lisa.
All right. Thank you, Bert. That was a great question. And it's a great time to mention too. Laura and I were talking about this a week ago, or so. But we are going to see a good jump here in loans. We're going to see we're going to see a good pop of loans here. Um, Probably there's going to be a lot pushed out at the end of this month, but I think it's going to be bigger in January and as we move forward with that. So now is a great time to go back and brush up on the rules. If you haven't done a loan closing in a while, go back to your training, revisit, how to fill out that 4506T and all those little things that before you thought you would never forget, but maybe I haven't touched a loan in 2 years. So I And Daniel just said, I have my first loan signing tomorrow in probably a year. Yeah, go back through. You bought all these programs, guys, and you've done all this training. Go back and reference that and remind yourself what a professional loan signing is supposed to look like so that you don't make any mistakes just from it being, length of time. Great topic, Bert. Thanks for bringing that up. And Miss Asia has a question for us. Hello, how are you
Hi,
today?
good afternoon. I'm okay. Counting down the days till vacation.
Yeah, right?
Um,
Same.
First, thank you for saying that about the loan signings. I never know when there's going to be a jump, so hearing that there's going to be a jump coming up, it's very exciting.
Let me just clarify, Asia. When I say jump, okay, from this day forward, anytime I say jump or increase in loan business, that does not mean it's going to look like 2020 to 2022. That was an anomaly. It just means there's going to be more loans out there to close. But anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to
Perfect,
clarify that for anybody else.
perfect. Going piggyback on what Daniel was saying as far as like policies and certain things that, like my question is, if there is a policy that I want to implement in my business, where do I put that? I have a website, but a lot of people do not go on my website. They find me on Google.
Mhm.
So how do I implement those policies, such as if I'm waiting a long time at a jail signing or in the hospital, how do I make sure those policies are somewhere written, or where do I write them so that clients and customers know that?
You
Yeah, so
said
I've
you
got a lot of places. Do you want to go? You want me to go?
I was just going to start with your Google business profile, do an FAQ section.
Okay.
And put those kinds of pose it as a question. Daniel's example is a great one that the person did not have the ability to sign when I got there. What's the policy for that? You put whatever you want your policy to be, like they still pay for travel fee or however you want that to look. But an FAQ section in your Google business profile and on your website will solve that problem across the board. And
Okay.
it's your job as the owner to decide if the situation warrants enforcing the policy or not, right? But Laura, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So the other thing that I do is people are big texters, and for me, text is in writing. So I have shortcut buttons that I use that say when I'm doing a hospital or a jail, something that I know weird stuff might happen. And so it says, here's the qualifications of the signing candidate. Boom, 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 boom. And at the end of that, once I've laid it all out, and on some of them, like they need to have valid ID. And in parentheses, I put, if they don't, contact me for an alternative. And then another one is they need to sign unassisted in parentheses. If they can't, reach out to me for an alternative, right? So I let them know these are the things that are supposed to happen, but there are some workarounds or alternatives for them if these particular ones aren't working. And then at the end of it, I say, if for any reason the signing is unable to complete, my travel fee will still apply. And
Okay.
they get that from me.
Okay. So
So
almost
that's
in like my confirmation text messages added in there. Okay. Okay, because I'm starting to do weddings as an officiant, and I had the first wedding was easy peasy, but the wedding I had this weekend it didn't start for 3 hours after the time they said it was going to start, and I understand, but and it was my friend, so it wasn't that bad. But I'm just thinking, moving forward, I would like to be compensated if I have to wait because bride stuff happens with the bridal party and I'm in
Yeah.
Wisconsin and we had a big snowstorm, but still, I just want to make sure I implement or put those policies somewhere that they know in the future, hey, if this happens, it'll be an increase.
Yeah, I think it's especially important for you to be really detailed about it with the wedding officiant as one of your lines of business, Asia, because at a smaller wedding, in a smaller wedding, It may be 20 people and everybody's in the family is just so happy to get together. Nobody gives a hoot about the time. They're thinking about the joyous occasion. They're not thinking about you, right?
Yeah.
So I think having policies about timing and preparation and all of that is going to be really important and as you move forward. And this sounds like it was a really good learning experience for
Yeah, it
you.
was. It was.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I put that somewhere that they see it for the next person so there's no confusion.
Great idea. Great
Thank you
idea.
guys.
Thanks, Asia. I appreciate it. Brend, is it Brend or Brenda?
It's Brenda. I don't know why my name is showing late, but yeah,
What
it's
can we do for you today?
okay. I'm gonna keep it short, but here's how I'm gonna put it. In the beginning of this year, I did a signing, and I had recognized the signer's name, so I had did signings for him before. The documents that I received had president, individual, and member. So I'm like, okay, how does this person, does he put the title after his signature or what? So anyway, to make a long story short, I called the customer contact person, who he was dealing with, and I asked him, I said, hey, I have these documents and it has, individual, president, or member, and some of the pages he had to sign 3 times and it had those 3 titles that I mentioned. So I told him, I said, it's really confusing because I never had one like this before. So he was explaining it to me and trying to tell me that, okay, he signs president on one, but he doesn't sign with the other 2 titles. And then some pages he had to. So it was just confusing to me. Anyway, get past all that, I do the signing and I called him and went through everything he told me to do. According to him, it was correct. But anyway, when I scanned them, to make a long story short, I forgot to, because I had to attach the certificates. And so I forgot to put see attachment on one. And I think there were 2 where I had did the wrong certificate or something like that. But he just made a mountain out of a molehill out of a mountain. So anyway, to fast forward to here, yesterday I accepted a signing, realized it was for this person that I had did the signings before. But what I did this time, because I feel that I shouldn't have to tell the signer how to sign his name. At least I'm hoping that I shouldn't. So I I sent a note to the signing agent that I received the signing from. And I said, hey, look, I said, remember this person. I did a signing before for them. And I said, it has the same thing with individual, president, and member. And I said, I want to know how this person is supposed to do, because some of the pages he does not have to do it and some he does. So I need to know which ones. And I said, could you get in touch with the person that he's working with? But anyway, to make a long story short, I just don't know how I was supposed to execute them, but the signing was canceled. It was canceled. I don't know why, but they told me it was canceled. Maybe it was because of what I said, but I don't know if it's up to me personally to tell the person how to sign his name, or should I just stick with telling him where to sign?
So,
It's like I'm giving him advice to me.
so Brenda, it is a legal act to determine the appropriate signature for them,
Okay.
not the job of the notary. So either the signer must know, or if it's within a third-party hiring company, then they need to say what needs to happen. Or if it's not a hiring party, the person hired you directly, then they need to ask whoever sent them those documents how he should sign on each one of those. You don't want that responsibility, because if you
Right.
direct incorrectly, then they're going to put it on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the
Yeah.
unauthorized practice of law.
Yeah, that is
For
true.
us.
That's why I asked, but all I know is it was canceled. But I agree with you, because I feel that it shouldn't be my responsibility.
Right. It's not.
So that clears that up for me. But I just wanted to put that out there to make sure who, should have.
Uh-huh.
I feel that whoever he was dealing with should have told him how to sign beforehand. I Just
Well, they
that's
should have, but it's not too late for him to get that direction at the table.
okay. All right. So that's what I'll do. If I ever get anything like this again, I won't put myself in the middle of it like I did before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
Sounds
for
like it was a good lesson learned, Brenda.
yes, it was.
Thanks for the question.
Thank
Okay. Batiste Notary Plus LLC. So formal.
Hello, this is Sharon.
Hi,
Um,
Sharon.
hello, I'm driving, but I have a client coming up that she called me and wants a recurring cash contribution slash gift notarized. It has a witness, but it doesn't say or notary. So do she need a witness also?
You know
It's
what? I
okay.
have had a hard time making out what you just asked. So I'm going to ask you to restate it a little more clearly for us.
Okay. A recurring cash contribution
Uh,
slash gift. Okay. It has on there witness, but it doesn't say or notary. So do she need a witness as well?
well, the document is not saying that it needs a notary. Are you saying there's no notary certificate?
Does say it needs a notary at the bottom. So that's why I was asking, do it need a witness and a notary? Do,
It's for the instruction of the document. If it's not clear, if the document's not speaking to you to give you instruction, it's on the signer to decide
okay, and okay,
what they
because
need.
what she needs. Okay, so she did ask me, she said that she has a witness, but the witness is not in her, is out of town. So I'm just notarizing her signature, correct?
You're just notarizing her signature. However, when a witness out of town is not witnessing the signature, so
That's
she
true.
cannot use that witness after the fact. Once you notarize it, it's done. So that means where the witness line is, it would be N/A or a line or something to prevent her from using it after the fact. A witness is not a witness if they didn't witness anything.
And that's what I kept going back and forth with in my head, but I just wanted clarity a little bit on that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you giving me
You're
that.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Great question. Hey, Jeanette, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What can we do for you today?
I was with this being, the end of the year, I
Hmm.
was thinking, and I guess this is more or less for you.
Okay.
I was thinking about doing, how you get those notifications to boost your reels. Would
Mhm.
this be a good time? Because, things are kind of slow for me right now. And would it be a good time now to get some good videos in and do some boosting? Because I want to get a good ROI on my money.
Mhm.
Or should I
Sure.
wait until the first of the year? What is your opinion? I did chat GPT it, and they didn't give me a real good, answer about the timing because I was just wondering, is this a good time to boost up my marketing?
Sure. I mean, there isn't a right answer, which is probably why Chat GPT, probably, I can imagine it sounded like it was talking in circles when it gave you that answer, probably. Um, there isn't the best time to post on social media is right now and always. I mean, you can say things like, oh, between 9 and 3 is the best time for me to post. But until you collect the data and look at it from your particular audience, then you're winging it, right? So if you've got the time now to set up a social media campaign and you want to boost that to people in your community, and make sure you're not targeting other notaries, you're targeting people in your community that need notarial services, then by all means, please start doing that because you need to start so you can keep trying. And there is no exact science to social media. So you can keep boosting and keep posting and keep trying to engage with people and all the things, and then look back over the 6 months or year and see, because the analytics will tell you on a business account how many people are reading your posts, when they're reading, the best days for you to post, the best times for you to post. But until you've done it for, a good chunk of time, you won't know that information.
And Jen, you know what? I
Okay,
think the last point
thank
you
you.
said was really important is that it takes time. It's not like I can jump in January and do a few posts and get response. It takes consistency and time for them to start to see you.
Yes. Yeah, listen, social media can be a huge drain. It can, you can go so deep. Oh my gosh, you can go so deep on analytics and all the different things that you can do. Don't worry about any of that, right? If you haven't started consistently posting, just start consistently posting twice a
Yeah.
week, 3 times a week minimum, right? 2 to 3 times a week, and then look back at the data. And then, like I said, it'll tell you the times. It'll tell you, is your audience mostly your followers, or are you bringing in new people because of the posts that you've been putting out there? It gives you all kinds of really cool analytic information. But you have to post with consistency to make it happen. If you post in December and then in January you quit posting, you're not gonna, it's not gonna do anything for you. It's all about consistency over the long haul. Social media is the long game.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. In other
Awesome.
words, just do it.
Just do it, girl. Yes, Nike this situation. Like I said, the sooner you get started, the sooner you can start collecting that data. But at least make sure you're posting. If you want to know the minimum for a business, it should be a business account, not your personal account. Business accounts are what shows you the analytics so you can learn from it. If you're going to spend the time posting, you want to at least have the data so you know what works and what doesn't. 3 times a week consistently, and see what you see what kind of information you pull from that. And you will definitely pull information from it. Thank you for that question. Social media is so important when, it's free advertising. Let's take advantage of that. Helena,
Hello.
hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for this platform. My job is being pushed out, meaning I'm getting a lot of general notary work, and I appreciate all the work and effort that you and Miss Laura have done on this channel. So,
Yay, thank you
that
so
being
much.
that being said, I find it very interesting that I'm faced with a very strange scenario, and that is this pricing. Pricing for and I'm sorry I don't have my camera on, but because I'm driving. But pricing for going to rehabilitation centers. This is the challenge. Because I'm pricing just for my mobile notary fee and the signature,
Mhm.
some people are afraid to take the challenge and call me in because they said it's too low. So is there a standard rehabilitation fee, rehabilitation facility fee because I'm going there like $50 extra? Have you ever heard of such a thing? I know there's like hospital, you charge extra for being at a hospital because of parking and so forth, but does that same thing apply to a rehabilitation center?
It did when
So
I and when I it did for me, Helena. In fact, the rehabilitation center close by me was incredible customer, but
Mhm,
incredible client. But I did have to tack on some fees because of the time. If
mhm.
they're in a session, if they're in a group, you might have to wait for them to come out. You can't guarantee um, the turnaround time. But Laura, go ahead. I'm sure you have a
yeah,
much
so
more
I was going to say
thorough
that
answer.
the um the strategy is the same. How much
Okay.
is what's different. So the strategy is when you're not just going to somebody's house where you park in front and go up into their kitchen and work right there. You have to park somewhere. You might have to pay for parking. You have to park and you're far away and you've got to walk to the main building. You've got to check in through security. You might have to wait because they're in therapy at the moment. All of those things create an ever increasing amount of time you need to have available buffer time. And you can't just put another assignment right on top of that one because you don't know if those different things are going to happen. So you've got to allow for that. Now, I will tell you, I have 4 or 5 of them that I run to frequently. I do not, my facility fee is less for them than it is for the big hospitals because the parking is a little better, because the process is a little more expedited, and I don't have to give quite as much as I do with the hospitals. So let's just say I have a facility fee for hospitals that I tack on $50 to my travel fee, my normal travel fee for a hospital. But for a rehab facility, that might only be that kind of facility might be a $25 fee. So it just depends on, know what's in your area, know your territory, go drive around and look at these places and start imagining, okay, is there parking for me here? Do I gotta go park in the street? I don't have to pay for it. Go park and go in. How long does it take me to get into the front door? Do I have to go through a security check-in before I can even get back there? And because there's not like there's 50 of them, there's not going to be that many. So go ahead and do some surveillance of what that is going to look like for you. And then you can get a better sense of, okay, you know what? I charge normally 35. I'm going to charge 15 more, so it'll be 50 for rehab, because I see the ones that I'm going to be called to aren't going to require as much as a hospital will. Whereas when I go to 6-bed facilities, which is really somebody's a house that they're in, yeah, I'm not charging a facility fee for that, right? Because I'm just parking right there. And just the fact that other people live there doesn't make it more difficult for me. So I think you need to evaluate what's in your area, guesstimate how much more time is going to be required of me to handle this versus going to somebody's house to do the assignment. And then that's your surcharge or facility fee on top of your baseline travel fee. So that's how I do it. Now, now Daniel does do a lot of facility work like I do. Daniel, do you have a same strategy or a different one?
Well, I asked you this question about 2 years ago, and you were saying about whatever your travel fee is, if that was a house at that location and it's within 30 minutes, you double it. So in this case, it would go from 40 to 80. I wasn't comfortable charging $80, but there was a number in between 40 and 80 that I thought was very, I could live with. And it turns out it's very competitive. And so I charge 60 for one particular hospital, but pretty much every facility I charge is either $20 more or $40 more, just based upon, again, the parking. We have an area up here where there are 5 hospitals. The parking is notoriously horrible. And we're going to get the max up there simply because I'm going to have to hike and carry my 14-pound bag quite a ways just to get from parking to their the lobby. So I mean that's bad. Also, I would say when you walk in, be sure that this is going to now I'm going to talk in Jen's lane for a minute. Come armed with business cards. You're going to drop them at the front desk. They're going to send you down the road to the nurses station on the 8th floor. When you go to the nurses, and I always check the nurses station before I go into the room because I want to make sure I'm not walking in on something I shouldn't be there for. And so I check in there and I give them 5 or 6 cards, and then everybody in the room gets one. So it's a by the way, those 10-cent business cards, they come back in a point every time they give one away. It's because that turns into an appointment. That those 10 business cards are now 10 appointments that I'm going to get in the future. And so one of the reasons I love these assignments is because the marketing on them is good, but I've pretty much I did what Laura did. I kind of scoped out the ones. This is easy parking. I've been in here a few times. Yes, I only charged $20 extra for this one. On the other hand, some of these where the parking's weird, and one's a we have a big medical school up here, and it is Bourbon Street on Mardi Gras. We got patients going down the hallways. I mean, it's hard to even get through. It is hopping. And I'm like, okay, this place I'm gonna need to have a little bit of love because there's a good chance I'm not going to be here just for 45 minutes. This could be an hour and a half appointment just getting around. So I priced it accordingly. But I put that on my website and I put it on my price sheet too. And I've all the major facilities in town, I've got them. If I'm coming here, this is my travel fee. If I'm coming there, this is my travel fee. If I'm coming there, this is my travel fee. And people have accepted it pretty well. But yes, I do boost it up because you never know what you're going to get into.
And just two things here. One is I saw John's comment, and I think it's always important to remember that this is a national call, which means I've got 50 different states going on here. And when I'm addressing travel fees, I'm addressing the 80% of the states that allow for travel fees. Some of us more, and some don't even have a notarial restricted fee either. But if you're in a state where travel fees are restricted, such as Arizona to mileage, Nevada based on time of day, right? North Carolina, you don't get anything. I think they're $5. And I think same thing with Maryland. They have, I don't know if it's a $10 administrative fee. There are a handful of states that travel fee it's not travel fee friendly. And hospital work probably is not for you unless that's how you give back to your community. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fabulous, but it's not part of your business mix. In those states, you want to be doing bundled packages like trust work and loan signing work, loan modification work, those kinds of things.
Excellent point. And John, thank you so much for the reminder that, depends on your state laws. Those always override anything Laura or Jen has to say, right? It's follow the state law. Faith in Texas, what is your question for us?
Hey Jen,
Hey,
happy belated birthday to you.
thank
That's all I called to
you.
say.
Thank you. That's so nice.
Did you
I'm
enjoy your
still,
day with your son coming in town?
I had both of my sons were in town. All kids were in town. I had all four kids under one roof for a couple of days. That's a very rare thing in my house, but it was amazing. The girls took me to lunch. We went to a big swanky lunch. Um, the boys, oh, they got me the kids got me a massage certificate. So I'm using that.
Well, how cool is that? I remember you talking about the son that was in Austin.
That's my son Cooper. Yep, he came
Um,
up, and then I have another son, Matthew. He's my bonus son, but my son. He is in Fayetteville, Arkansas, at his freshman year in college. I just can't
Whoa,
believe it. But thank you so
yeah.
much. That's
You're
so
welcome.
sweet. It was a really cool birthday weekend, and my cousin that lives like 30 minutes, that lives downtown, just popped over randomly at like 8 o'clock, 8:30 on Saturday night. And Laura, you know this about me. What am I doing normally at 8:30 at night? I'm usually in bed asleep. But he popped over to surprise us, so that was kind of nice too. So stayed up late that night, but yeah, it was a really fun weekend. Thank you so much for asking, Faith. I appreciate that.
Cool, you're welcome.
All right, guys, do we have any other questions before we wrap up today? We have a bunch of people on the call, so Laura, I just want you to remind everybody how they can connect with you on Saturday mornings. You have a free opportunity on Saturday.
Yes, if you are up and about at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I have a Laura's Inner Circle call, and that's really focused on purposeful practice. And we talk about different notarial certificates, jobs, different types of things that are going to come up, hospital work, any of those specialties, and how to handle them. And so by meeting every single week doing that, you will have the ability to build your skill, your notary skill, your technical skill. So just so you know.
And all I ever hear, that call every Monday when we get on our Ask Me Anything call. Laura and I have a CNTDA does an Ask Me Anything call first thing Monday morning. Everybody's always talking about that. That call is so buzzworthy, Laura. Everybody loves your call because you really go deep on some of this stuff and give, um, I think, a more rounded perspective on some complicated problems. So it's a fire call, you guys. You need to check it out.
And we share documents on there too. We share the screen and we start tearing apart the document and what's the issue here. A lot more than we could do on this call.
Yeah. Okay, Melissa in California. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
For that call in the morning on Monday, I have it on my calendar recurring, but I might have the wrong link because nobody's ever there. So I have to look for that one again. The Monday call, you still have that, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Let me show you where you can find it, okay?
On the school calendar, maybe?
Yes.
I thought I went there too.
So
maybe
you're gonna, can you see my screen, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna go right here to the calendar and
Mm-hmm.
this 10 a.m. call right here. This is it. It's a 10 a.m. my time.
10 a.m. You know what? I think I have a different time. Okay. On my recurring
8
one.
a.m., Melissa.
It's 8 a.m. your time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
I'm in a different time
All right,
zone
I'll
now.
check it out again.
But yeah,
I'll check it out again.
that's the correct link. It's the same link, whether it's the Ask Me Anything call or the Conversations in Trust, which is training. That's happening next Monday. It's the same. You'll see here it ends in 7774. It's the same link. So all you have to do if there's confusion about a link, just go copy it from the school calendar.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
Okay, and I had a real quick other comment. After the fact, I missed out. He was working here. He's from Arizona, but he didn't have his ID, only on his phone, and he needed the physical ID. So he's trying to give his aunt POA to go to the DMV to get the physical ID for him. But I was telling him, well, I can't do anything here without your physical ID. But I didn't realize I should have put him on with a Ron person. Then he could have got it taken care of and they could have got him his ID, right?
In California?
No, it's going to be
he's in Arizona. That's what you said. Okay.
No, he's here. He's here working, but he's from Arizona. So his aunt was going to go to the DMV in Arizona and get it. So I could have got a Ron to help him here in California from another state.
If the DMV in Arizona accepts that, right, Laura? Then if they accept that signature.
Okay. All right.
Is that something you're hearing about, Laura, that DMVs will accept Ron signatures on?
No, I'm not hearing that
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all.
California is electronic. Our DMV is electronic for California, but for Arizona, I'm not aware if they are or not.
Yeah, you'd have to do a little research on that and see what what that receiving party, what they want. Thanks, Melissa. Great question, though.
Thank you.
Okay, very, very, very quickly, Sharon. I think is Sharon, is that right?
That's Sharon. Yes,
Okay.
that just to follow up on that one question I asked. Would it be an authorized practice of law if I tell her that I have to put the NA in the witness box, or should I just, how should I explain it to her?
So you don't tell her what to put there. You just tell her to address it. And what I gave you were just examples of how she could address it. She'll have to decide if she wants to put in /A or none or / or whatever.
Okay. Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you so much.
You got it. Well, guys, thank you so much for spending an afternoon with us. We love our Tuesdays with all of our Titans, and we're so glad that you guys were here today hanging out. There's a survey that's going to pop up right after the call. If you wouldn't mind taking some time and filling that out, it lets us know what we can do to make this the best call for you every single week. And I'm going to do what I always do. And although she's figured me out now, and put Laura on the spot to close us out today.
All right. Well, let's talk about strategy. The strategy to finding a great opportunity is different than the strategy required to make the most of a great opportunity. Do you catch the difference?
Love it. Very thought-provoking. All right, guys, have a fabulous week. We'll see you next week. We've got 2 more weeks, and then we're off for 2 weeks for the holidays. So we'll see you back here next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.